fix your pants.
I love Daddy.
What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Aydian here.
And Jenilee.
And we've got little Antler baby here.
Hi, baby.
We are just about to make our lunch, and we wanted to make this video because we keep getting a lot of questions about our eating, and if we're vegan, if we're vegetarian, if we're not, are we raising Antler as a vegan? Those type of questions. You know, Jenilee really was the one who started changing our kind of eating habits, and she really just started changing her own eating habits. And I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm just kind of lazy about like prepping food and stuff, and she's a really good cook, so I just eat what she makes. And lately, in the last year or so, 12 months, it's becoming more and more plant-based. But you don't, like, do you identify as a vegan? I don't know if I've ever really asked her this question before.
So when we were trying to get pregnant, I started being really turned off by meat. You know, I'm all about energy, and I just didn't like the energy of meat anymore. And so I just slowly stopped eating it. Like, there was meat on my plate at the end of dinner, and he's like, "You're not eating it, you're wasting it." And I'm like, I just don't want to eat it. So I just started eating plant-based meals. I just would cut out the meat, figure out a different protein. I was eating eggs up until a couple of weeks ago, and so I guess technically right now, on paper, I'm vegan. I don't know if I really want to put my label out there yet, or if I ever will. I just I'm about becoming more conscious about like what I'm eating, and you know, just in every way that I can be, and it just doesn't feel good to me to eat meat, eggs, or dairy anymore. And so, yes.
You're vegan.
Yes.
Kind of.
Yes.
You know, Jenilee kind of started doing intuitive eating, and I think that's where this all started about maybe 2 years ago. And you know, I was just a little much on what I was eating, as far as making sure it was like low fat and low carb, and you know, meeting my macros and stuff. And it was just coming to the point where it was just a little too much, honestly. It was stressful. It was stressful. It wasn't causing me pleasure to be on this like quote unquote diet. And so I started to try to practice and actually replicate more of what Jenilee was eating. And so that kind of became slowly more and more and more plant-based. And to this day, I'm not a vegan and I'm not a vegetarian. I eat chicken at night with almost every single vegan meal that Jenilee makes.
Yeah, I make a vegan meal, and then
he
just like heats up some chicken and like puts it on the side
exactly
of the meal. Like, it's just always on the side.
Yeah, it's organic, free range, all that stuff, but it's still chicken. So I'm not a vegetarian. I have, however, changed a lot of my dairy intake. So I used to eat like string cheeses every single day, and now I don't. And I was having creamer in the morning, and now I'm using a nut creamer. So I'm changing things slightly. It's kind of half and half. It's half for how we feel, like how we actually physically feel, and half for the environment / animal care of animals and treatment of animals.
Yeah, I think, you know, we've just become more and more conscious about what it takes to produce meat products and animal products. We want to help out the world. We want to be a part of the change that we all need.
I mean, I don't necessarily think that like as humans we were vegans or anything like that, but I think that given the world today, our humanity, and for the, you know, taking care of the environment and the earth, you know, that's really what it comes down to for me personally. I love the animals, but, you know, I really think that it's about taking care of Mother Nature. That brings us to the question that everyone's been asking about Antler is, are we going to raise you as a vegan? Are you going to be a little vegan baby? Are you a vegan? Are you maybe a vegan? You might be, huh? Maybe you are.
So honestly, Antler is what kind of pushed me to start eating plant-based.
He's not a vegan because he drinks dairy, because he drinks Jenilee's milk.
Human milk for human babies. It's not dairy.
That's Daddy's joke. Mommy doesn't like the joke.
There's the milk.
Doesn't like the joke. Doesn't like the joke. Oh, see, there it is.
Where's the purple?
So if you want to see another one of my videos,
Like,
the top 5 things not to
This is
do
the only milk I consume
with babies. Or what is it? The top 5 things I didn't know about parenthood.
Like I said, I really believe that Antler wants to be vegan because I got pregnant and all of a sudden didn't want to eat meat. So I'm like, the only thing inside of me that's different is Antler. So babies are the future. And I really feel like the babies that are being born right now in Antler's generation are here to make the changes that we need in our future. And I do think that eating less animals is what we need in our future. And so I feel like Antler kind of brought me to that awareness. I also have a lot of vegan friends, so I've always kind of been surrounded by that consciousness and that, you know, lifestyle. And Antler really got me wanting to research it more and understand why it's important and why it's helpful to the environment and to the planet overall. And so it's helped me to look up that stuff and to realize, oh wow, I didn't realize that, you know, not eating animals is actually going to help feed the rest of the world. Like, there's enough grain and like vegetables for the whole world to eat, but because we're feeding that to animals, there are people starving, and it's like being shipped to the US and, you know, all that stuff. It's just mind-boggling to me.
Some people have been asking us, like, well, what if Antler grows up and sees, you know, me, you know, dad eating meat or whatever? And I don't know if I'm going to eat meat forever. I've kind of slowly been trading out different protein sources for non-meat protein sources, but I don't see myself being a vegan or vegetarian, but I also just don't really know. I also would have never seen myself eating all the different foods and variety of foods and colors of foods that I eat now too, so I try to keep that in mind. And I think with Jenilee and I, mostly with everything in our lives, we don't like to just put one label down and then limit ourselves, you know, because like, what if I become a vegan and then there's a chocolate cake in front of me that's got eggs and milk and I want that? Like, you know, like I might have a slice and I don't want to feel so bad and just feel like I ruined everything in my whole life because I had a slice of cake. You know what I mean? I just want to eat intuitively. I want to eat the way that my body feels good eating. And the only thing I can do there is trial and error. And so I've noticed that by taking out some dairy, I just feel a little better. By taking out some of the high, you know, meat content I was intaking, I feel a little bit better. By having different veggies, different foods, I feel better. And that's what's most important. And so, you know, if Antler sees daddy eating some chicken, then yeah, I'll be like, hey, you know, this is how we get chickens, okay? And I'll explain to him. And then if he still wants to try it, then, you know, we're going to have to sit down and decide, like, do we want to let him try it? Do we want to, you know, have him be more interactive? Do we want to wait a little bit and see if he keeps asking, you know? It's just stuff we're going to have to deal with as it comes up. But I don't think we're in any way trying to restrict Antler in anything, just like we don't want to restrict ourselves with anything. Hi.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it's healthy to tell a child that they can't have something over and over again, because I feel like they're just going to rebel and want to have it behind our backs.
We're going to come in, he's going to have like KFC all over his bedroom.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly.
An empty bucket, passed out.
Yeah, I can't imagine, but
no.
Yeah, like I feel like that can happen, you know, just in general, even if it's not meat, if it's sugar, if it's this, if it's that. Like if you restrict something to such an extreme, I do feel like there's a curiosity that builds within kids.
Yeah, you're a happy little vegan.
So yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, that's what it all comes down to. You have to do what you intuitively feel is best for you. So if you have been questioning if maybe you should become vegan or vegetarian or go, you know, dairy-free or whatever, then just explore it. See how your body feels. I feel like that's what I try to do. You know, I don't do it for a week and see if I feel better or worse, and if I feel better, then I keep doing it that way. Again, it's just about being conscious and aware, and if that's what you're trying to do, then you're going to make the right choices. And some of you may become vegans and some of you may not. It's going to be...
No judgment.
Exactly, no judgment. I think, again, it's just about being conscious of where and what, like, it's about being conscious of what you're eating and where that food is coming from in all cases. We're going to eat lunch. That's it. Peace.
That's our like thing that we're like
So good. What are you doing with them?
everything.
Have you made chia pudding?
Oh, I've heard.
It's so easy to make.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, like get like a jar. I think it's. I have a.